Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and of course we're playing Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11, and we're playing as Japan. I think our descent is super too high. Or I mean our national unity is, yeah, too low. Boy, I said that wrong, didn't I? Because normally I'm so used to having almost no dissent, and or I mean almost no national unity. Boy, I'm saying it again. All right, no, or 100% national unity and some dissent levels. So yeah, no. So national unity is, I think super. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Just not used to it. Okay, I'm just rambling, babbling. Let's get past this and move forward. Now, I have taken somewhat the advice. I'm finishing off just one heavy cruiser, shifting more towards industrial capacity, but I am building these pure police units. It's been a day or so, and I'll keep okay. No longer influencing us, fine. And these are some of the problems. You want to spread them around to make some more of these areas bit more green, where we have some resources here in the home islands. Okay, the 226 incident. The incident is called the Niroku Juken, or 226 incident, was an attempted coup d'etat in Japan from February 26 to 29, 1936, carried out by 1,483 troops of the Imperial Japanese Army. Several leading politicians were killed, and the center of Tokyo was briefly occupied by rebelling troops. At that time, the incident was called the Deplorable Incident in the capital, Teito Fusyo Juken. Okay. That's my best pronunciation of that. The main cause of the incident was actions by some young activist officers, mainly below the rank of major. They noted problems of political corruption and extreme poverty in rural areas and decided the solution would be to remove some of the elder statesmen in the government. Their slogan was the Showa Restoration, revere the emperor, expel the evils. They failed. Okay. How do I put this? To some degree, whether that's big degree or minor degree, and I'm not just talking about Japan, but I am specifically talking about Japan at this moment, doing it for the Showa Restoration, revere the emperor. The emperor is what might be termed a flag, a symbol. Symbol would be, well, obviously a flag is a symbol of their vision, their idea of their nation. Now, because you could, let's just translate this into America, this would be, to revere the country, or revere the people. We're doing this for the people, that kind of language. Now, that doesn't make anything that they're doing right or wrong. That just sort of is what in the name they're doing it for. Now, a little bit has been talked about within some of the series about the Emperor of Japan. He is a key figure in all of this. Now, he lived most of his life extremely isolated. But when you have a flag, a symbol that speaks, when he does not oppose something, he gives it implicit approval. And he may actually give it active, quiet approval, meaning I'm not specifically talking about this event, I'm talking about things in general. They're done in the name of the emperor. So if the emperor objected to it, he could do something about it. And I'm going to expand this beyond this revolt. It could be the Mukden incident in which the Japanese sort of local garrison. Again, you have to realize Korea had been for some considerable time occupied by Japan, and Port Arthur, was picked up in 1905. I mean, they got it earlier than that, but was formalized transfer from Russia to Japan. But you also had Japanese troops, like you had British, like you had American, like you had French, that were on some level of peacekeeping in parts of China for stability purposes. Well, the Mukden incident is, a few low-ranking officers get in a couple of artillery pieces into their officers' barracks or whatever, and start shelling a Chinese position. Now, this policy to shell the Chinese position did not originate anywhere in Japan. It originated with them. Quite possibly some higher-ranking officers knew they were sort of planning on this quietly, unofficially. Maybe even those that were doing it didn't know that some of the higher-ups officers knew about this. And the reason I say this is this is with zero evidence, but good officers have informants in the ranks that tell them things that they need to know. Not like, oh, who stole the chickens, or, tattletaling on all this stuff. But it's sort of like, those two lieutenants are planning on, they're smuggling in artillery pieces in pieces, and are going to, shell them. I mean, they normally kind of, quietly, people talk about these things, even though it's sort of kept secret. And it gets up to higher ears, and of course this is very unofficial, and so he can very much go, some of the officers can plead complete ignorance, and if things go wrong, punish the wrongdoers. But if things go right, they might like the results. This is sort of how some of the Japanese sort of samurai don't act. If you act wrong, you'll get your head cut off. It's not like, if you ask, you're always going to be told no. But if you act and you do it right, you're going to be praised, promoted, lauded. You'll do successful. If you act wrong, maybe literally your head cut off, especially in the old samurai days, or you'll get fired, demoted, sent to very bad duties, imprisoned, there's all kinds of, depending on the thing. Okay, so we see the Japanese expansion in stages and whatnot into China, and most all of this is being directed by the army in the region, not the army back in headquarters back in Japan, and not the civil government, and not the imperial, meaning I'm referring to the emperor and his sort of advisor group that's directing this or encouraging this. But the emperor never orders them to, fall back, never orders them to return to their barracks, never demands that some divisional general who does this, you come to my palace. Because basically, if he were to order that, they either have to comply, or basically within the army structure, they're probably gonna have to kill themselves. And so, since the emperor never does, openly oppose these things, he's complicit in this. Now, saying all of that, like I've said, I've recently watched some documentaries that had modern people reading, excerpts from letters and diaries and whatnot. And some of the Japanese that were coming as colonists to the to China, or some of the soldiers being stationed there, were sort of surprised and shocked to find out that the Chinese really resented them, liberating them from European oppression. Because that's sort of what the Japanese were telling themselves, that they were liberating Asians from European oppression. When, as one of them said, they treating this as just changing from one foreign domination to a different foreign domination. And so what was the emperor told? Remember, I just said the emperor, basically from birth, has been isolated very much from the world, and I'm not even sure that he's getting newspapers daily. And not, again, maybe if he demanded it, he probably could get them, but maybe he doesn't know to demand them because he trusts the people telling him things, you know, the inside information. So this instability is, you know, Japan is going through, you know, since 18, and I know somebody's posted to correct it, but I think like 1867, 1868, something like that, with oh boy, I'm going is it Perry who shows up, you know, the American fleet that sort of forces Japan into the modern world, has been going through a massive cultural shift. And like they say, this is some of the stuff true. So there is a certain level of disruption to national unity. But it is not coming, at least chiefly or importantly, not coming from like mass demonstrations of people in the street. It's coming from different levels of the governing society. And so that they do things in the emperor's name, but often, not always, and we will see this, the emperor doesn't push back against the stuff. So we gain 5 in dissent, lose 10 in neutrality, and some of the parties shift and change here. Okay. So now we're up there, and Republic of China, we give them money for energy, no thank you, and no thank you. We've got enough incoming right now. So we are very low popularity, as we can see here. We're the ruling clique. Which is causing us problems. Okay, well, so we can change this consumer goods up 5% from where it is, but we'll get more resources, which we're doing okay, and we'll go from negative 25% to positive 10%, a 35% shift for a 5% increase. So I think full mobilization and less money, true, a lot less money. But let's sort of keep in mind we have 55 going for production now, and we've got to work that down. Total effective is 166. So, well, let's change it over. And on the next day it'll readjust. Well, we want to immediately keep that from going. Now we're at 57, but you remember we were at about 55 here. Now we're at 216. Wow, that's a big jump. we're at 96. So even though we are putting roughly, and we're going to go up a little bit more, roughly 10 more ICs into consumer goods, we are a lot more in production. And we're going to get through, I just want to get through that, and we're going to do a little bit more supplies. There we go. And let's increase our factories a little bit more. Oh. Move all these down to the bottom. There we go. I still want those military police built. And then we'll go from there. Okay, well, we'll need more. Well, I'd rather get more metal from Siam. Yeah, alright, good. Partially for, no thank you. Peru, money for metal, okay. Wonder if there should be some events about Chinese colonization of Peru. That'd be, I mean, Japanese colonization of Peru. I think it was back in the 90s. The I think president or prime minister or something, but I think it was president of Peru, was entirely of Japanese descent, because there is a significant minority, though he was like third or fourth generation born and raised and lived in Peru. Okay, we would give them money for energy. We do need more energy, and we want to get and we'll do that both because they're both cheap. We can afford them. Uh-oh. Again, why we need we're gonna get through these pretty quick. Okay, yes, we want more, and yes, we want more income, and we'll take the Bank of International Settlement. This is the big one. Let's go with that. We'll gain money, lose supplies, we can do all that. Okay, I'm sticking with the 1-year draft and the specialist training for the moment, and those guys can just sit in their dry dock. Okay, well, now we can do some more. Yeah, let's get main armaments for the cruisers and such done. Shift that down. Sure, we'll sell supplies to just about everyone who wants them. No, okay. Didn't I? Oh, still got a point 12 more. Okay, might as well do that. Trade offer. Okay, Brazil. The USA, we give them money for rare materials. Okay. Trying to avoid overly depending upon the USA and trying to build up other trade relations. Preferably the, you know, from places like Peru, Chile, it would be harder for them to interrupt. Okay. You're influencing us. Yes, we won against these guys. No, my police aren't ready yet. Oh, come on, people. I'm used to hire practicals and have them. But we need a lot more supplies. Actually want a surplus. How about getting some of this? Let's see, we need steel. Let's see if we can get 10 from the Soviet Union. Yeah. Because we can keep trading with the Soviet Union. And if we don't go to war with them, we might be able to do it even while Germany's at war with them. And because our trade links will be very short, up to, no, that's not it. Where are our trade links? We're not going, oh, no, that's our Swedish stuff. Well, maybe just because it's across the border. That's probably it. Yeah, so, well, yep. So we'd be able to, because I don't normally think of that we're touching there, but yeah. No, I don't know how well trading might go while we may be in the Axis, but not at war with the Soviets. Okay, Tibet, we would give them money for metal. Yes, we would do that. Again, Tibet is one of those I want to positively good for the nationalists going after the communists. Influence. Through trade. Oh, good. We have our police units. Great. Revolt risk. Okay. Nobody at the moment. Yeah. No, the factories are over here. Well, okay, we'll just march you over there. Okay, we'll want a couple of more. At least, well, we'll do 3 more. I wish somebody would do a good immersion mod, so that these would instead of say military police, say Kempi Tai and similar sorts of things. Move these guys to the top. Yeah, this will help us maintain various elements of security. Okay, so we've actually gone down. Yeah, these areas are greening up much better. I know, and I was advised not to worry about upgrades on that. Well, and you're probably very right, but it's just hard to break habits and like look at all that and see that needing to be done. And yes, I do know mathematically it would be better to get the factories sooner. Okay, this is get the factories sooner and put the upgrades on hold and have more industrial centers to, ICs to upgrade that in 37 or 38 or something like that. Okay, the coup has failed. Emperor Hirohito's orders the army to arrest 123 coup conspirators. 19 of them will be executed in July. Okay, so like I say, he's not always quiet or complicit, and I knew this was coming. But this is sort of the larger point. It's well, we can move this to a modern in storytelling. It's often, if people want to get principles through, they like to tell stories in science fiction that are set in a world and use entirely different names for things. So instead of saying Democrat and Republican or Obama and Trump and Bush, is use entirely different names, entirely different political parties and settings, and then people read it and they get the message and they don't have and instantly, oh, I'm in this camp, so I'm already believing one side over the other, has more correct thought or more truth or more whatever, or which side is more likely to be corrupt or not corrupt kind of thing. But sometimes it's also good to look at this in a modern real world concept here. So we have people doing things that are in the government, that are doing things that they believe are for the good, maybe to the point of to save the nation. You can look at very high ups in the Justice Department under Obama, and Justice Department, because I know I have a larger non-US viewership than I do a U.S. viewership, but the Justice Department is part of the executive branch, and under the Justice Department, and the Justice Department is sort of like the government's lawyers, basically. Under the Justice Department is the FBI. Those are sort of like the government's police force. They're, the national government, not the states, not the counties, not the city's police force, but the national police force. And the FBI really technically is really supposed to be limited on like who they can arrest and under certain crimes kind of things. And so the Justice Department starts spying on the Obama administration, because I'm not sorry on the Trump under the Obama administration, starts spying on the Trump campaign. And if those of you who remember more than 10 minutes ago remember that in the first 60 days that Trump is in the presidency, after he's been inaugurated, he comes out with a tweet. The Obama administration wiretapped Trump Towers, and all of the media, no, they didn't. Yeah, no. Now, of course, they didn't, because no one uses physical wiretaps. Wiretaps literally used to be putting a tap on the actual wire. Now they can just go listen to it digitally without ever having to go into the building location. Because so much of the digital communication goes through central hubs. They can just be at a central hub in a place in the U.S. and go, I want to listen to all the incoming conversations to this number in Berlin. You may wonder, how are you able to do that? Well, if you know anything about the internet, and it may have changed since I sort of did kind of know it, a lot of the communication over the internet, like from one German to another German, actually comes through the U.S. over the internet hubs. And so it depends on how your telecoms and everything are set up, and all of that. So obviously not all phone conversations to a German phone number would be coming through the U.S., though of course we might be able to digitally penetrate the German phone system. But a lot of their email and other stuff is just the way the internet's routed. It bounces through main servers in the U.S. before going to other places. Now, again, things and infrastructurally may be changing, but back in the late 90s, which is almost 20 years ago now, when I really did know some of this stuff, a lot of it, even internally to other countries, would bounce through the U.S. before going to, things, in countries of, say, like India. Someone would send an email or a video, chat thing over the internet, and they would go to America and then back to the other person in India in the same city. I mean, that's the way a lot of the sort of stuff worked, not just internationally. So, and now it comes out very clearly that the FBI did wiretap Trump Towers, or wiretap some people that, like Manafort and other people, Manafort, some people in Trump that were in Trump Towers, that they did wiretap or listen to their communications. So, and we can see, and some of these people have been demoted. You can get Peter Strzok. If you ever watch some of his testimony, man, he is a complete ass. But and he thinks he's saving the republic. He thinks he's saving the nation, and doing this stuff. They're acting in what they believe is against tyranny or something like that. And so you have people that do that. Now, obviously, they weren't directly doing a coup against the government, but they were trying to influence the outcome because they believed they were right, and in my opinion, broke the law in what they were doing. But so Hirohito does push on this one case here where they did this, and 19 will be executed now, or we can leave them in control. So we lose even more, gain more dissent, or we'll lose dissent and gains neutrality and reduce revolt risk. So they will be beheaded. So we are pushing now for real established, and we need even more because of that. We're trying to reestablish central authority and accountability. Okay, now We are now back to low popularity. We've lost the very low popularity effects, which is good. Yeah. Japan had very bad sonar. I think I've said that before. Okay, now national. We can do the change of government. This is obviously our current government. I know with this, because like I've said, I played through the first half of 1936 a couple of times. We're going to lose these sort of moderate guys here. Laissez-faire capitalist, which reduces our consumer goods during peacetime, and ruling party support, though we are part of our problem is that we have a fractured government here, meaning not all of one party, and not again, these two should not be anywhere as big. And we'll lose him, but I guess we should do so because it's sort of part of the chain. So we're going to change the government. We have a new Japanese government here. Okay, so we can, I think, look at it better here. Now we still have the ability to change things within the party selections that we have. National manpower is nice, but I'd rather have somebody other than an iron-fisted brute. Party support, larger daily descent tendency to national unity will increase. Yeah, we're gonna go with him. If I have the option, I'm going to. Okay, we have that guy in. That's the guy currently. Okay, we like that well enough. Armament minister. We're not really building any of those right now, though. But those are our internal security. Yeah, that looks good. And up here, that's who we have. I'd rather have this industrial specialist. More ICs. They both have the same ideology. Port strike. Well, we're not doing any of those things actively right now. So, okay. So we're doing that, which will hopefully help our new ministers take control. Okay, well. New minister. Okay. Kono I Fuminmaro. I know the name, becomes head of government. That's here. He is like the prince or something related to him, I believe. Konoe. I think it's sort of how you produce that. So that would hopefully better. Oh, and it's increase this even more. And I think we'll end this here. I'm trying to keep these episodes from getting too long. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. It really does help both you and me. It tells the YouTube algorithm what you like seeing, and it helps me in that it tells you YouTube algorithm that this is good content. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. That also helps both of us. And please post questions, comments, corrections. I do want those. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.